The passing of Robert Lecoq, a respected journalist in the history of Saint-Martin and Saint-Martin, KPSM arrests two suspects following home invasion in Point Blanche. Acting Minister of Justice recognizes Inspector Helen Romeo for 40 years of exemplary service. PJD2 radio interview with the head of the Education Department, Antonio Aventurin, the students to travel to the Netherlands. From the island of Sint Maarten, this is SXM Daily News for August 4th, 2026. Louis Mussington, President of the Collectivité de Saint-Martin. It is with great sadness that I learned of the passing of Robert Lecoq, a respected journalist whose work helped document the history of Saint-Martin and Saint-Martin for decades. Through his articles and photographs, Robert did far more than report the news. He captured the life of our island, its people, its challenges, its successes, and the moments that have shaped our shared history. His commitment to accurate, balanced, and dedicated journalism made him a trusted voice and an invaluable witness to the evolution of our territory. As the Daily Herald's longtime correspondent for French Saint-Martin, Robert Lecoq played a unique role in bridging both sides of our island. Always present in the field, he covered public affairs, major events, social issues, culture, maritime development, and the many initiatives that shape our community. From collectivité decisions to cultural celebrations, community initiatives, and major projects, he faithfully reported the life of French Saint-Martin, ensuring that English-speaking readers across Sint Maarten and beyond remained connected to the realities and progress of the French side. His keen eye, thoughtful storytelling, and unwavering dedication will leave a lasting mark on the collective memory of Saint-Martin. On behalf of the Collectivité de Saint-Martin, I extend my deepest condolences to his family, friends, colleagues at the Daily Herald, and to the entire media community. May he rest in eternal peace. KPSM officers arrested two male suspects, identified by their initials JKF and YLH, believed to be involved in a home invasion that occurred on Monday afternoon, August 3rd, 2026, in the Point Blanche area. The incident occurred shortly before 2 p.m., when the Central Police Dispatch received multiple emergency calls reporting that a residence in the Point Blanche area had been forcibly entered. Several police patrols, together with detectives from the Detective Department, were immediately dispatched to the scene. Initial investigations revealed that three suspects, all dressed in dark clothing, forced their way into the residence, where they bound and ill-treated an elderly female occupant before fleeing the scene. Information received by responding officers indicated that the suspects were believed to be hiding in nearby bushes. Given the violent nature of the crime, officers immediately secured and cordoned off the area before launching a search operation in the area. Officers searched the surrounding vegetation and terrain. Following a lengthy search, officers successfully located and arrested JKF and YLH, whose descriptions matched those provided by witnesses. Both suspects were taken into custody without further incident and transported to the Philipsburg police station, where they remain in detention pending further questioning by detectives. The third suspect remains outstanding, and efforts to locate and apprehend this individual are ongoing. Personnel of the forensic department also responded to the scene to process evidence and assist detectives with the ongoing investigation. KPSM wishes to make it abundantly clear that violent home invasions will be investigated with the highest priority. Every available investigative and operational resource will be utilized to identify, locate, arrest, and bring before the courts every individual responsible for these crimes. The rapid arrest of JKF and YLH demonstrates KPSM's commitment to responding decisively to violent criminal activity. Detectives continue to work to identify the third suspect. KPSM also thanks the members of the public whose prompt reporting and cooperation greatly assisted officers during the response. PJD2 radio interview with the head of the Education Department, Antonio Aventurin. 11 students are leaving for where they will continue their studies in various fields of discipline. Training of entering students is the responsibility of the head of study financing. Can you give us an idea of the students? This is really thanks for this opportunity. The students went through 1 week of preparation, so we, as the customer, provided 1 week of preparation. Preparing the students to travel to the Netherlands is not really the task of Division Study Financing, but we have taken on that role in trying to prepare the students as best as possible.
Preparing the students to travel to the Netherlands is not really the task of Division Study Financing, but we have taken on that role in trying to prepare the students as best as possible. So during that week, they got some workshops on mental health, because mental health in the Netherlands is a psychosocial workshop, mental health challenges and stuff like that, dealing with anxiety, test anxiety, failure, etc. And of course, drug abuse and stuff like that. They got workshops on that. We also gave them workshops on the laws and legal rights and obligations in the Netherlands. And very importantly, we had a trainer come over from the Netherlands who prepared them with we will call it study skills, which basically formed part of getting them to understand the transition that they need to make from studying at secondary education to the studying at tertiary level education in the Netherlands. So they got workshops on basic study skills, presentation skills, working in groups, writing skills, and I may have missed one, but so we focus on that. We also focus on budgeting. So we had Mr. Emilio Calmera gave them a workshop on money management, and and of course, very important, we gave them a lot of information on study financing, their rights and obligations as study financing recipients. So that formed, in general, the preparation. We also train a factor of their cultural identity in collaboration with the culture department, trying to embed that St. Martin cultural identity in them as they go abroad, so that they could hold on to that as best as possible going into the big wild world in the Netherlands.
Based on the preparations and workshops students had to follow prior to departure, are you sensing that they are well prepared for this journey?
Well prepared, I would not venture to say well prepared, because you could only assess that afterwards. Based on the evaluations, we think they got the necessary information. How much of that information they would actually retain and put into practice, that depends on a lot of different factors in the Netherlands, and it remains extremely difficult to prepare students on St. Martin to actually study in the Netherlands fully, because it is very difficult to simulate the circumstances in the Netherlands. I think the success of our program will actually be, the success of the program and the preparation would actually be determined depending on the level of assistance that the students receive from their educational institutions in the Netherlands. We have a guidance program on the ground in the Netherlands, of course, that's going to support them, but very important is going to be how their educational institutions, the universities and universities of applied sciences, how they actually guide the students who are coming to study at their schools, because that is really the biggest biggest determining factor on the level of their success.
Approximately how many students will be traveling, and maybe you can give us an idea as to their field choice of studying.
Yeah, so we have 31 students traveling this year. That's an increase from last year. Last year we had 25 students. The increase is mainly due to, of course, the increased tuition rates in the region. We have a lot of students now transitioning to the Netherlands, and also, of course, the changes that has been made by the Dutch government as it pertains to the basic grant to study in the Netherlands. That has been re-implemented, so you have a lot more students choosing for that alternative right now. In principle, a lot of, there is a misconception that studying in the Netherlands is cheaper than studying in the region. However, if you compare the actual cost of living with renting a room and stuff like that, it's almost a bit more expensive. So 31 students are going up. They are going into various fields. We have students ranging going into business, finance. We also have students going into the medical field. What else? We have a whole range of I think those are the most common fields that the students are going into off the top of my head right now that I could recall. But we have, of course, computer science is extremely popular. We have some students going into artificial intelligence software development. So that is also happening. Yeah.
Minister Plenipotentiary Gracita Arindel and Minister of Education, Culture, Youth and Sport, Melissa Gomes, welcomed 30 St. Martin students at Schiphol Airport upon arrival with guidance counselors who now begin their academic journey for the 2026-2027 college year. The arrival of our St. Martin students in the Netherlands marks far more than a change of address. It represents the beginning of a defining chapter in their personal and professional development. Having completed high school on the island, these young people now step into universities and institutions where they will pursue various disciplines. The minister added, choosing to further your studies here in the Netherlands takes courage, vision, and determination. Be proud of reaching this milestone. The years ahead will offer incredible academic growth, new cultures, and lifelong friendships. But let's be real. There will also be tough days. You will be adjusting to a new educational system, managing independent daily life, and navigating moments of homesickness. You are not alone. Lean on your guidance counselors. Support one another. Ask for help when you need it. Every challenge you overcome here will strengthen your character. Never forget who you are or where you come from. You carry the resilience, warmth, and spirit of St. Martin with you. You are our ambassadors. Minister Arindel advised the students to stay connected, not just when challenges arise, but to celebrate your successes and listen to your ideas. The student group is made up of 30 students, 22 young men and 8 young women, representing a wide range of academic interests, from public administration, finance, international business, medical imaging, and many other fields. The largest groups of students will be settling in the cities of Tilburg, The Hague, Eindhoven and Groningen, while others will study in Delft, Rotterdam and Nijmegen. Minister Arindel asked the students to stay plugged in by registering with the Cabinet's St. Martin Diaspora database and to follow the Cabinet's social media pages, which would provide valuable information about upcoming events that they can attend. Minister concluded her reception speech with, "Your future, our island. Your education is an investment, not only in yourselves but in the future of St. Martin. Whether your career eventually brings you back home or takes you around the world, we hope you will always remain connected to your island."
Are you SXM insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXV is cardless. Request your My SXV account today and enter the virtual office of SXV. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
SXV, yeah, your social health insurances.
Acting Minister of Justice, the Honorable Marinka J. Gums, extends heartfelt congratulations to Inspector Helen Romeo, who celebrated the remarkable milestone of 40 years of dedicated service to the people of St. Martin on August 1st, 2026. 40 years. That's 4 decades, nearly half a century, of steadfast dedication, sacrifice, and service to our community. As we reflect on Inspector Helen Romeo's extraordinary milestone of 40 years of service to the police force of St. Martin, I wish to recognize not only a distinguished career but also celebrate a trailblazer whose life's work has left an indelible mark on the police force and the people of St. Martin. Those who know Inspector Romeo will agree that she continues to carry herself with the same professionalism, grace, and pride that have characterized her throughout her remarkable career. Even an injury sustained in the line of duty along the Sucker Garden Road could not deter her commitment to serving and protecting our community. Her resilience and determination have remained constant throughout 4 decades of exemplary service. To put 40 years into perspective is to recognize a lifetime committed to justice, integrity, and public safety. Very few individuals answer the call to serve with such enduring commitment, grace, and determination. Inspector Romeo's journey is not simply a story of years of service, it is a testament to professional growth, adaptability, resilience, and exemplary leadership. Inspector Romeo began her public service career in 1986 as an immigration officer 3rd class. From those early days, her work ethic, professionalism, and commitment to excellence were immediately evident. She did not merely occupy a position, she excelled in it. Through hard work, determination, and outstanding performance, she steadily rose through the ranks of the Immigration Department, ultimately attaining the position of Head of Immigration. Reaching the pinnacle of the Immigration Department would have been the crowning achievement for many. However, Inspector Romeo has never been one to remain within her comfort zone. Driven by an even greater passion to serve and protect, she made the courageous decision to transition into the police force, embracing new challenges, learning a different operational environment, and once again dedicating herself to protecting the people of St. Martin. Her transition into operational policing was seamless and was marked by the same discipline, professionalism, and leadership that defined her earlier career. Today, she proudly serves as an inspector of police, a position that carries tremendous responsibility, trust, and leadership. To truly appreciate this accomplishment, one must understand the significance of the rank. Today, there are only 8 inspectors within the police force of St. Martin. To be one of those 8 is an exceptional achievement and reflects the confidence placed in Inspector Romeo's leadership, judgment, and experience. It signifies that when critical decisions must be made, when complex situations arise, and when younger officers seek guidance, Inspector Romeo is among the select few entrusted to lead.
From the Department of Communication in Phillipsburg, this is a special edition of Inside Government with Cedric Peterson.
To our audience here at home and around the world, welcome. You are now Inside Government. I'm Cedric Peterson. Joining us for this edition is Dr. Joe Alcala, the newly appointed Interim Inspector General of the Inspectorate of Public Health, Social Development, and Labor. During our conversation, we will learn more about Dr. Alcala, the responsibilities of the Inspectorate, and his priorities as he takes on this important leadership role. Dr. Alcala, welcome to Inside Government. It's great to have you as a first-time guest.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me, inviting me, and having me.
For members of the public who may not be familiar with the institution, what is the Inspectorate of Public Health, Social Development, and Labor, and what is its primary mandate?
Okay. It's a department, the Inspectorate of Health, Social Development, and Labor is a department within the Ministry of, again, Health, Social Development, and Labor that supervises laws and regulations that pertain those areas. That means areas of health, areas of social development, and areas of labor. Laws that regulate the functioning in those areas have to be supervised by a body, and that in this case is this inspectorate body. I have to say that for all ministries do have supervision duties, but for this ministry, we have a more centralized body to do that, organized body. Why is that? Because since before 2010, in the land of Netherlands Antilles, they made a separate law already for the Inspectorate of Health. That was an independent body within the Ministry of Health, and that formula is not the same in other ministries. The only thing that came together now after 2010 in St. Martin is they have the other divisions put together with health, social development, and labor. In the function, primary function, once again, is to have a mandate by law to supervise the laws, act on them, to detect if there are non-compliance or infractions in place. In some cases, we can do actions independently. In some cases, depending on what the cause is, we can relay it to other divisions, for instance, the Ministry of Justice.
The inspectorate covers several broad areas.
Yes.
What types of institutions, professionals, businesses, and services fall under the inspectorate's supervision?
Okay. Now, if you talk about the three areas, once again, you talk about the area of health, that entails all healthcare professionals on the island, whether they be doctors, there be dentists, pharmacists, midwives, and partially, I'm going to explain that later, partially all other ones, from nursing, physiotherapists, dietitians. We cover also all healthcare institutions, whether it be a hospital, psychiatric ward, a psychiatric clinic, daycare centers, institutions that do, for instance, ambulance care. Also pharmacies, all pharmacies fall under our supervision. Wholesalers of pharmacies that import pharmaceuticals are inspected by us and supervised by us. If you talk about, there's a separate department that is the food safety, that also falls under the area of health. Actually, it falls under the laws about Commodities Act. At the moment, we only supervise food and drinking water, but the other commodities we're not acting on them as of yet. That's part of the reform. That's the part of health. If you talk about labor, it entails all industries that take employees. The laws that they supervise are consistent with the laws of safety, veiligheidslandsverordening. It concerns if you have a legal contract with the personnel, if the personnel has insured for health. All the laws regarding labor and labor execution fall under the supervision of the Division of Labor. For the part of social development, sadly enough, there's only one law in place at this moment that we can act on, and that is for the daycare centers. There's a law of daycare centers in which the Inspectorate of VSA has been mandated to supervise and to execute its powers over it. The other areas of social development are still to be developed. We're in discussion with the policy department of that in the VSA to develop more policy, regulations, and eventually a legal framework.
Now the local weather forecast tonight through Wednesday evening. Partly cloudy with isolated showers. Surface winds tonight through Wednesday evening. East-northeasterly to east-southeasterly with a light to gentle breeze at 4 to 11 in Min Swanima. Sea conditions. State, waves kai, seu farwai. Swells sheltered areas, smooth below. 2 cuffed open waters. Slight to far-left outlook through Thursday evening, fair to partly cloudy. Isolated showers are possible. And now 3 days weather forecast.
Your social and health insurance is your social and health insurance.
Are you SXM insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXM is cardless. Request your My SXM account today and enter the virtual office of SXM. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
Your social and health insurance.
After a month of practical learning, 5 students have successfully completed their placement at the tax administration through the 2026 Business Outreach and Placement Program, BOAP. During the program, they gained valuable experience and learned more about the operations of the tax administration and its role in society. 3 students were assigned to the business unit, while 2 were assigned to the income tax unit, where they worked alongside staff and gained insight into the daily operations of the tax administration. In the business unit, the students assisted with the scanning and indexing of documents, including wage tax, AOV, AWW premiums, AVBZ, turnover tax, and profit tax records. Those assigned to the income tax unit supported administrative tasks, including document filing, data entry, and other office functions. Throughout the program, the students learned the importance of accuracy, confidentiality, and professionalism when handling taxpayer information. As part of their experience, the students had the opportunity to meet with the Minister of Finance, Ms. Marinka Gums, and Secretary General of Finance, Ms. Roxanne Howell, who encouraged them to make the most of the opportunity and continue pursuing their educational and career goals. The tax administration congratulates Christopher Williams, Jada George, Norris Marlin, Tajanique Baron, and Tisena Christian on successfully completing the program. We thank them for their enthusiasm, dedication, and willingness to learn, and wish them every success in their future academic and professional endeavors.
This is our SXM Daily Newscast. Thank you for joining us.